Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please?
Are you ready? Are you ready?
Yo, what up, what up? It's your boy Rubino.
And this DJ in the building.
And you listening to the UpNUp Podcast.
Yeah.
Wait, what are we doing?
I don't know, just listen.
Yes.
What it do?
Welcome. You are listening to the UpNUp Podcast. I'm your host, Rubino.
And I'm DJ man.
How you doing, DJ Erm?
No, I'm good, man. I'm feeling good. Saturday.
Feeling great?
Yeah.
It's Saturday. Sun shining.
Yeah. You know,
Okay.
we're getting that warm weather, so it's cool.
Yes, man. Yes, definitely, bro. So for those of you first-time listeners out there, you know, the name UpNUp obviously is we're here to provide a platform for people who are, you know, living that lifestyle, right?
Always.
Trying to cultivate the culture, right? And try to promote
Always.
stories that help cultivate the culture collectively, right?
Couldn't said it better myself,
Yes. And today's guest, man, we got someone special today, right?
Somebody
Everybody's
special,
special, first
Yeah.
of all. You know, everybody's special, but we got someone special today. We got a mover, a shaker, you know. I would say innovative mind,
Definitely.
forward-thinking brother.
Yep.
We got today's guest is none other than Vance Ashworth, owner and CEO of Happy Foods.
What
Can we
up,
get a
my
round
brother?
of
What
applause
up, my
for
brother?
Hey everybody,
our brother?
thanks so much for having me, y'all.
Yes,
I
sir.
really appreciate it,
Definitely,
man.
How you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm so good today, man. Thank
Man,
you.
There's a
Yeah,
lot of good
yeah.
energy in
I
here
know.
right
I
now.
like this
It's
energy right
good
now,
vibes.
man. I like it, man.
It's good vibes.
You
Man.
know?
We got to stay positive. Everything got to be positive.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
So I don't know if you know, man. It's your first time on the show. We kind of do this little thing at the start of every show. Call it quote of the day, right? And
Yeah.
my brother right here, he's a man of quotes. So you got a quote for us, sir?
Yeah. So there's kind of a backstory behind this quote.
Okay.
You know?
Break it
One
down.
of my guys.
Break it down.
Shout out to Abdi.
Shout out to Abdi.
We're talking about, you know, reminiscing about old times, and he kind of hit me with this quote. And the quote is, "If you don't build your dreams, someone will hire you to build theirs." And that's by Tony Gaskin. So, you know,
That's
real.
That's real.
No, that's a
Yeah.
powerful quote.
You know
that's
what
a
I mean?
powerful quote. And to describe the quote, so we bring in the quotes because, like I said, it transitions into, you know, your story, who you are, what you're providing. And when it comes to building dreams, I feel like with Happy Foods, you know, that's essentially what you did, right?
Mm-hmm.
And for those right now watching and listening, I guess, how would you describe Happy Foods and kind of what its purpose is, if you can?
So Happy Foods it's a mobile app, and it's based on the principle of high vibrational foods. And high vibrational foods are foods that benefits us positively. And it came about because, you know, I don't know if you've ever been through anything, but, you know, I kind of had a series of unfortunate events, and I really became focused on wellness in my body, wellness in my mind, just all around me, just wellness. And I found that the thing that on every dimension of wellness, what holds it all together on every dimension is food. Food can have a positive impact on every single level of your life, everything that you're doing. And I found that aside from anything else that I was doing to better myself, food was the most constant way of it was the best thing it was the one thing that made me happy, the one thing that gave me satisfaction.
You can always go to it.
You could
Always.
You
go
can always
to
rely
it.
on food.
Definitely.
Yeah, when in my kitchen, when friends would come and visit, I noticed we would all gather in the kitchen. We would all dance in the kitchen. We would all like cook and eat. And I was like, you know, I don't release a lot of commercial projects, but this is one commercial project that I wanted to release because I was like, if it makes me feel this way, then I know that it'll have a good impact on everybody else, especially in our community, man.
Definitely. Yeah, like you felt like you had to share that. Yeah, I feel that with a
Absolutely.
lot of things.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no, and I think that, like I said, it's important. Like, the thing is, you touched on it. You said it's a mobile app, but then you just went into what its purpose is, right? Which is promoting health and wellness and a healthy lifestyle. And so I guess you kind of touched on what sparked the idea for you, in terms of the vision. But in terms of like going into the mobile app space itself, is that what sparked that for you? Did you have background in that industry or?
Oh yes.
Okay.
I love technology. Like technology, everything. God, I'm always reading tech. I'm always reading, studying, researching. I'm always putting my hands on something new and innovative to see, like, I wanted to be a part of the new wave of tech, which is mobile, you know? And so I've always been in marketing. I've always been in sales. I've always been in entertainment. I've always been into technology. So I wanted to bring it all together. And I felt like the best way to do that was through a mobile app.
Okay. Make it convenient.
Make it convenient.
So break it down a little bit for us. So if people were to go to this app, right, and navigate through it, essentially what you're saying is it'll lead them to foods that are obviously good for you, but they also give you an indication on the vibration level, right?
Sort of.
each
You
food?
know what? To be honest, I'm honestly going to kind of, how can I say, that's not going to be the high vibrational part is not really what we're going to lead with, you know?
Okay.
So Happy Foods, how it works is this, and then we'll get back to that.
Yeah.
But that's just that was kind of the foundation of it. That's what kind of got me into it. That was my personal journey.
Okay.
Looking for things that would raise my frequency because I
Yeah.
was, in a certain place. So Happy Foods, what it does is it literally, when you open the app, it has when you open the app, it opens up to a grid just like Facebook or Twitter or Tinder or something like that. And you click on the food. It has a click and pick system where you click the food that you want, put it on your list, and then it gives you the location of the food based on where you are.
That's dope.
Okay.
Also, it has corresponding recipes and corresponding blogs that will follow the recipes, follow the food items that you have. So,
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's dope.
Oh yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
No, I like that. You're giving people insight on what it is they're putting in their bodies.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Giving people insight on not only what they put in their bodies, but also giving good content. You know, good content. Working with bloggers, working with product managers, working with people that are bringing this product together so that not only is it educational, but it's fun. Not only is it educational, but it encourages us to eat right.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. What I like about that
That's
is
important.
like it's very convenient, you know, because it's like sometimes you want to eat certain foods and it could be like across town, like somewhere far, and you're just like, man.
Right.
So it's like you kind of got to go and look it up, see where it's at, and then go find the place to go look at it. So I kind of like that aspect of it. So
You know what? It cuts the middleman in so many ways. You know,
Definitely.
You have, for instance, if I have a recipe, I might want to make something. I look up a recipe. I'll have to go through so many Google pages. Like, okay, and what's this? What's that? And what does this do for you? Okay, well now where can I get it? You know,
Yeah.
Happy Foods bring it all in one place. You know, you open it up. You can either search what it is that you're looking for, or it'll have categories of, seasonal, what's trending. There's actual fruits and vegetables that are trending.
Wow.
But we don't.
That's great. Yeah.
You know, I didn't see no fruits trending on Twitter, but but they should be, is what you're saying.
Yeah, definitely. It's important, yeah.
Nah, for real.
Yeah.
Because it's not like it's trending on a cool level, but
Yeah,
it
no.
just so happens that everybody at this certain time are getting these certain fruits and vegetables. So
Yeah.
Happy Foods will have a category of what's trending, and you'll be able to delve in and see, what people are making, how you can make it. It's good for, it took me about a year to get fully acclimated when I got here to Seattle to find my grocery store, to find to find everything that would make life easier for me. So Happy Foods is one of those things where if you're new to town, pick it up, get the app, and automatically you know where to go to get the foods, the fruits and vegetables that you know.
Giving people. I think the thing is when it comes to healthy eating, I think people know what's good for them, right? It's one thing to know what's good for you, but then it's another thing to know what direction to go in, right? Some people need direction, they need guidance, and I think that's what Happy Foods provides is that guidance. Like there's no excuses when you have this app on your phone.
Yeah.
There's no more excuses,
No.
right?
There's no more excuses.
Yeah.
There's no more excuses of well, I have to call, my mama for this recipe, or
Yeah.
call grandma for this recipe, or, they don't have that here, they don't have this here. And, like, there's no more excuses. And not only that, but it brings the recipes. I want to touch on the recipes too. It brings to taste recipes. Not really the metric system, but if your mama is like a little bit of this, grandma's like a pinch of this, a smidge of this. Actually write those recipes, actually how you make it, and somebody will make it, their own way to taste. So again, let's cut out any excuses. Oh, I don't have measuring cups. Okay, well, use a handful.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah.
If it's good,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
care.
no,
Nobody,
you're right.
I'm not sharing with nobody.
Yeah.
If it's ugly, if it's good,
Yeah.
whatever, I'll just try it again.
Trial and error, man. Trial and
error.
error.
No,
man.
I
Come
mean,
on.
I like that. I feel like it brings like authenticity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's not like too generic where it's like, all right, you need 1 cup of this, 1 cup of that. Kind of like how you were saying. So I think the fact that it's like customizable in a way.
Absolutely.
That's a good
is
one. That's a
dope,
good
you know?
point right there.
Yeah.
Definitely. Okay, well, so now obviously you're going into business for yourself, right? And I think with all entrepreneurs and, maybe some aspiring entrepreneurs who are watching this right now or listening right now, I kind of want to talk about when did that entrepreneur bug bite you, right? Like what was that defining moment for you? I think, everybody has that defining moment in terms of when they're like, you know what, this isn't working for me. Whether it's, you're on your last dollar and you're doing something that you don't love and you're like, I just need to switch it up now, like right now. What was that defining moment for you to where you said, I need to go into business for myself?
My goodness. It was job hunting is stressful. It's competitive.
Tell me about it.
It can be demeaning, what I'm saying? Negotiations, you really have to ask if, what I'm asking for, if I'm worth it. And, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And of course, hopefully, you are. But then, when you go into these places, you get lowballed, you know what I'm saying? All that stuff was like, you know what, here's the thing. I'm just going to say this too. Another thing was, I got tired. I'm going to say it. I'm literally going to say it. I got tired of going to places and being led by people that I'm completely better than. Done. When it comes to the skill, when it comes to your marketable skill, when it comes down to you telling me what to do and how, you kind of, why are you here? I can self, you know what I'm saying? Like, and you're mad.
Yeah.
Because, you know what I'm saying? You're trying to manage someone that's actually, that's actually on a higher level of skill and than you are in the practice.
Yeah, and you don't know how they got into that position, right? It may not be through merit. It might just have been through, hey, I know this person knows me. Absolutely. They let me in, and you grinded. You probably worked your ass off to get to where you're at, and they're trying to tell you how to do your job, and you're like, I can do your job, right?
All those things.
But yeah, like I said, I think that's a defining moment. But I think everybody has that. They struggle with that, whether it's at a 9-to-5 job or whatever it is you're doing. We kind of talked about this the other day a little bit about the vision, right? Yeah. The vision is important because anybody can go do anything. Yeah. But you have to have that vision too, right?
Yeah. And when you work, I've formally educated, years and years and years of experience, well connected in the communities that I serve, and what happens is when you reach a certain level professionally, and then you work to get there, you work corns on your feet, work your lower back, work your lower back out, you know what I'm saying?
You just paint the picture for me, all right.
You know what I'm saying? Then you get to the top and then you're like, well, I could have did this like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I can do, not only can I do this, but I could have did this like 5 years ago. Yeah. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it all myself. Like, I'm just going to do it myself. Yeah. Because, it only makes sense once. I wouldn't say it depending on whatever level you are, but I'm saying at one point it only makes sense at some point to an entrepreneur to do it on your own. You know?
Yeah, and I think like sometimes like to become an entrepreneur, you have to go through something like that. Like you got to work that job where you're like, man, I could, and you start realizing stuff. You start thinking for yourself. So I think a lot of that comes from that too. So
and like just asking you guys, have you ever like been at a crossroad where it's like where it's like you can either continue on that path, or you can go
Yeah.
either way.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
that's what it was. I literally had to make a choice to go into business for myself, because I feel, and it's been confirmed, that it's the best thing for me.
For you.
It's the best thing
And
for me.
and I think it just speaks to everybody having their own individual journeys and individual paths, and that's important.
Yeah.
You know, I think you have to realize, like, yo, like, I got to do for me, right? But at the same time, you got, sometimes, like you said, it takes certain triumphs or, you know, trials and tribulations to understand who you really are and what you're capable of. You know what I mean? You could have been working that job, knowing how talented you were in that field, but you still didn't feel like you were fulfilling your purpose, right?
No.
And it takes that to say, no, this isn't what I should be doing. And it takes a greater effort to say, all right, I got to go do something else.
Absolutely.
And actually move and make a move,
Absolutely.
for sure. And it goes into happy foods.
Yeah, I'm just gonna like.
Yeah.
I'm a resource when it comes to skill and knowledge for my craft and for my industry, and I want to be used. I want to use my leadership. I want to use management. I want to use my creative abilities. I want to speak. I want to be the front, and I want to be, you know, in the back on the business side. And so that's another thing, is when, you know, you go to these places and you're only there to do one thing for 40 hours a week, you know.
Yeah.
In a cubicle, you know what I'm saying? 40 hours a week, 80 hours 2 weeks for the rest of your life, for the next 40 years to retire. And at the end of the day, like, it's just not a good use of your resources.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Employers use, like, for me, it just, being in a cubicle, being at a desk, being under, like, it's limiting, and I'm not into
Yeah.
it.
And you just know you got more potential,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, I feel like, because it's not really like stimulating, you know.
No.
After a while, you're kind of like doing the same things, kind of like you're going through the motions,
Yeah.
kind of thing. Like, it's kind of like you need that thing that keeps you like thinking and growing, you know. So
Yeah, definitely. And so let's get back into kind of, like you said, veering into that mobile app space,
Mhm.
right? I know you have a lot of interest in that.
yeah,
I'm interested in that as well. You know, what was that like? Like, did you just tell yourself, okay, I know I need to go here. I
Yeah.
need to create something.
Oh, yes. Because what happens is, going back to the job market, just to touch there, is how competitive it is, and how, for so many reasons, you can find yourself, like, at the back of the line. I don't care. There's so many disqualifying factors.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
Especially being African American.
Especially being
Yeah.
African American,
Yeah.
you definitely feel
obvious.
like when you put your application in, you go into the back of the line. Like, everybody is going to get seen, is going to get a job before. It just is what it is.
Mhm.
And then when whatever, I'm not even going to go into it. But
It's like common knowledge at this point,
Yeah.
right? Everybody
Right.
knows that. Like,
Right.
fuck.
but the virtual economy, you don't have a color in the virtual economy. You know what I'm saying? It's all about goods and services. So, you know, I knew that I wanted to do something. I wanted to do something mobile. I wanted to do something in tech, something mobile. That's why I chose the app, because in the virtual economy, you know, it's all about goods and services. It's not about, you know, who's over here. You just get in where you fit in.
Yeah.
You play your position.
Yeah.
And so I knew that I'm confident with Happy Foods. I knew it would be a good product. So that's what I wanted to bring to the marketplace. Yeah.
Yeah, you saw that void.
Absolutely.
You saw that void.
Absolutely.
so
Definitely.
so as far as app space, you know, like apps these days, there's apps coming out all the time, right? And then it's kind of like it could become like oversaturated. So what made you like really believe that like health and wellness could work for like an app?
Because it depends on how you look at it. As an entrepreneur, it's good to be agile. It's good to have agility.
Yeah.
It's good to see, you know, competition. It's good to see people, oh yeah, I'm like that. Like, I'm not mad at competition or anything like that. I love.
You embrace it.
I embrace it. You know what I'm saying? Let's all have a good time. It's enough for everybody.
Exactly.
Not only that, but no matter what anybody is doing, you're not going to be able to do me better than me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's that,
Yeah, yeah.
that's that confidence.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You
know
got
what
to.
I'm
You
saying?
gotta have that though.
Number one. And then two is, you know, in going back to being agile, is you see how people generally do things. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, but that's how kind of things work in the marketplace. You have one person or you have a genre or a field, and then people kind of come over and do that. I use those elements, but it's also very important to have that understanding of who I am personally,
Mm-hmm.
who I am in business, what I'm bringing to the table, because when it comes to being oversaturated, even as a creative in the job market, even as another mobile application, it's a non-factor. Mine is just on launching, making my people happy, making whoever it is that I'm serving, making sure that they're well taken care of. That becomes a not.
That's an interesting point you made, because I think when you're talking about that mobile app space, right, and it being oversaturated and whatnot, you know, I think the most important thing when it comes to being in the app space is you have to create something that aligns with someone's lifestyle at the end of the day, because most apps that I see are short-lived, right? You know, they come out one day, they're hot, and then maybe a month or two later they're gone, right? Because they're not a part of your daily life. They're not a part of your everyday life. You don't need it. You don't depend on it.
That's right.
And I think with Happy Foods, what you're doing is you're literally aligning a service that people need in their everyday life. And they'll be dependent on it because they know they need it, right?
That's right.
And then that's kind of the unique the unique selling proposition, right? Is that what you would say you have?
That's exactly what it is. And so, believe it or not, as an American, the mobile app industry and everything like that, it can seem oversaturated, but it's actually not, because there's still a lot of people that are on web. There's still a lot of people that are on web. There's still a lot of people that are watching TV and getting their things through broadcast and everything like that. So what happens is there's still in terms of the global market, and we're literally talking about the virtual economy, which is not physical. We're talking about like the virtual economy. There's still millions and millions and millions of people globally that are not mobile, that are soon to be.
Oh, that's real. That's so real. That's so real.
That's right.
It's untapped.
It's very untapped.
Yeah, it's early.
Globally. And so what happens is everything is even moving mobile. You know, you have things, you have so many different, especially in tech, you have so many different software companies that are making versions for iPad, for tablets, for iPad, Android. So everything is coming down. We in design, we're designing for mobile first, because we're really phasing out that stationary PC kind of old thing. It's a dead technology. Don't ask for where's the website for happyfoods.com, because I'm not even gonna waste time with it. It's mobile. Like, it's a mobile app. It's mobile.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. I'm not gonna even go into it.
You know, so speaking of websites, I did check out your blog, right? It's okay with you. But no, you actually had some interesting facts, right? Some interesting educational facts about nutrition and about health and about just our well-being. One that stuck out to me was you talked about the hertz, right? The level of hertz and the frequency in terms of what's in your human body. And you said, so it says here, it says the frequency between 62 and 72 hertz is kind of a healthy human body, right? Maintaining it is kind of what keeps us from not attracting diseases, right? Now, this is the part that kind of tripped me out a little bit. It said most diseases begin at 58 hertz and cancer grows at 42 hertz. So for someone like me who doesn't even know what the hell my hertz is, I don't got nothing to monitor that.
Me too.
Is there something within the app that can help you kind of monitor that, or at least kind of manage that somehow?
And that's why I said that I wanted to step away from it, because here's the thing. I'm an entrepreneur, and I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not a scientist, and I don't have these things. My thing is, I just really wanted to, this is my contribution to society. I want to have a positive contribution to society.
Yes, sir.
And not only that, and so it was my personal experience that led to that research, and I just wanted to share that with everyone. And so I'm not one that's out here that's going to be doing a whole lot of talking and proving stuff that I really don't know that much about. But I'll tell you this, it all comes down to positive and negative. It all comes down to positive and negative. There's levels to it, but even in food, you know, if it makes you because if it feels good, man, if you know it's good, man, then do it. You know what I'm saying? If it doesn't, then don't. And that's literally what it comes down to. You know, you can have 50%, you can feel 50% about this, you can feel in terms of megahertz, in terms of emotion, in terms of, you know, half the guys in the room says this or whatever that. It's decision making time. And so that's basically what it is. Definitely hang out with people that you vibe with, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have a good
So it goes beyond food. Food is kind of like the intro to like leading a more high vibrational lifestyle.
There it is.
Okay.
There it is.
I think I got it.
So we can talk. Let's call a scientist to talk about the science. You know what I'm saying? And not, that's why I said, because my thing is like, I'm not about to get proved, like have people. Well,
but you prove. But at the end of the day, yeah, you're right. Right. You leave it to the experts. But at the same time, those same experts do need your tools.
That's right.
And need your platform. Right.
That's right.
So they're both interconnected.
Yeah. I think it has to do with just awareness. Like how he was talking about, like he didn't even know what his hertz was.
Oh, man.
But it's like now we know that is out there.
Oh,
you know, like we gotta like watch that. So it's kind of like you're bringing awareness as well to people. So
everything has a vibrational level. Everything has everything has a vibrational level. Everything has either a positive or a negative effect on us. And so that's. My mind was blown when I seen that, when I came across that research, and I researched it in depth, and I made it. I made it my own. Yeah. And I decided to create a project, and it inspired this product. So
wow.
Yeah, definitely continue.
It's
to
important,
go down
man.
that path. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I mean, educating ourselves is important, right? And I can even speak for myself. I don't lead the healthiest lifestyle, and I know that, right? But I know that. Yeah. But I mean, if I did have something that can kind of remind me of, hey, this is where you're at right now. This is what you need to be eating right now, and this is why, right? This is where you can get it.
That's
like
right.
that. I think that's what people need nowadays. They just need direction, like we said.
There's this whole concept now that people are talking about that they are time poor.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that took me a minute, because I'm like whatever. So there's this whole thing where people are saying that they are time poor, and and so people say, well, I don't have time to cook. I don't have time to do these things, to cook, and I don't have time to pay attention to my diet and all this other stuff. Fast food here, delivery that. And so what happens is Happy Foods does offer reminders. Happy Foods is an experienced coach, which helps you. It acts as an experienced coach that helps you to not only learn how to make the foods, but it works with your schedule. You know what I'm saying? It has like I say this: the things that I cook and the things that I make is probably like probably the king of 30-minute meals, probably 5 to 10 minute prep. My breakfast, I make my breakfast every single morning. Every single morning I make breakfast, and it ranges from a 5-minute breakfast where it takes like literally 1 minute to prep and the other 3 minutes to eat.
Yeah.
And or I have a 10-minute breakfast, I have a 15, but at the end of the day, Happy Foods will definitely work with you and work in levels and through technology. I work I work with Amazon and product managers at Amazon, so we're working on things where where it actually the mobile app actually learns you. It actually learns through AI.
Wow.
Yeah, it begins to learn you. It begins to learn your cycle and
that's
learn
great.
What you want to make and how you want to make it, surf it like that.
Yeah,
it's a good one.
So
that's important.
I kind of want to touch on the technology and like technical side of Happy Foods now. So Happy Foods is your first app that you kind of created, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what are some of the steps that might be overlooked by somebody that's going to start a app?
Foundation forever, man. Foundation. So you have to make sure that you have to make sure that you have a strong foundation. And I mean, from the design, from the UI, from the UI, what the user interface, I'm sorry, the color, make sure that the color is appealing, the tones are appealing, making sure that your icons are understandable. Are you going to put words under the icons? All right. You know, then the UX, how do you guys interact? How do you move? Are we going to do swiping? Are we going to do, you know, 2 fingers, 3 fingers, that kind of thing? You have to have all that stuff together. And then we met raising capital. You know, you got to go out there and raise capital because there's so many unexpected expenses that, you know, I mean, you guys know you have the studio, so you have to make sure that you have secured place to work.
For sure.
You have to make sure that your equipment is good because I outgrew my laptop. I outgrew my mouse. I grew, like, literally, I was fine all these years, and then here comes Happy Foods, and I need new equipment.
I need more. I need to.
Here comes Happy Foods, and, like, literally a whole wall in my apartment is just literally posted in markers and everything like that because you have to map it out. So I think that, so to answer your question, what people do not understand that goes into it is building that foundation.
Yeah.
You got to cover so many bases.
It's important.
Man, that's right. You can't build a house without a foundation, right?
Yes, sir. No, I think, and that's, like I said, you know, we want people who are watching and listening to be able to, like I said, pull from your story. And that's important. I'm glad you asked that question because people always are, like I said, they're infatuated with what you're doing, but not how you did it or how you got there, right? Yeah. That's like, nobody got time for that, but they got time for Happy Foods or whatever else it is they're using. And you also touched on it a little bit as well, the capital, raising capital, right? We met at the hackathon, right? That was put on by Hack Nation. Shout out Hack Nation, shout out Kenny and the whole team. Yeah. And you won second place, right? And so raising capital is important.
Yes.
But I think the biggest thing is, at the end of the day, you know, having something that you believe in, right? But even without people raising or funding their money to you, what are some other ways people can, you know, I guess, make their dreams come true when it comes to going into this space? Is that a difficult question to answer?
No, it's just you have to answer it. It's just because you don't need money, but you have to be able to communicate.
Yeah.
You have to be able to go out there and share your vision. Yeah. You have to know angles. You have to know who you're in the room with. You have to know who you're talking to, and you have to be strategic in that. Yeah. It's not whack being strategic. It's not whack wanting something. You're not whack asking somebody. The worst they can do is say no. So you're not begging. You know what I'm saying? You're not whack for wanting to be a part of something or stepping out. You know what I'm saying? Or even just being completely honest and saying, here's the thing. Every single dime that I have is going to rent and food. So this is what I need for you. Even if you don't give me any money, can you at least guide me? Can you have a piece of advice?
And that's what I was talking about. Like, obviously, you need people to invest, right? But early on, you know, I don't know if you heard, like, I read the Airbnb story and how they started up. There was a ton of investors that turned them away. Them away. And they had their foundation, they had everything laid out. And they were like, no, you're crazy. I'm not giving you my money. But they stayed on that path, right? They probably learned from that and said, okay, let's go back to the lab and tweak some things. And so there's a lot of things you can gain outside of just monetary, but you can gain a lot of knowledge, right? And guidance and education and how to go. And then when you come back, you know, you get the bag. You get the bag, right?
That's right. Yeah, you secure the bag.
Secure the bag alert.
I tell you, the best asset that I have was my mentors. And I have one mentor in general that literally, God, he's tough, man. He's tough. He's tough in business, and not only that, he's tough with me. And he's one of those mentors that literally everything that I have, I come to him with everything that I have, and he breaks it down to absolutely, like, he literally analyzes it, breaks it down, and puts me back at square one, which is very good because when you have honesty, when you have everything that the opposition would say on your side, but shows you how to move from that position, It's very valuable. So I would say mentorships are very, very, very important, and not only important, but they're necessary for the journey into whatever it is that you want to do.
Yeah.
Please listen to your elders. Please, your OGs, your elders, your mentors. Please listen to them, because they have the answers.
They've lived it.
Oh my God, they've been there,
Man.
Yeah, that's real though.
I'm gonna let
you
that
know?
breathe for a second.
Oh yes.
Let that
Oh
breathe.
yeah, the OG, man.
No, that's real.
So so getting into like entrepreneurship, right? So like you said, you know, once you started Happy Foods, like you're like, okay, I gotta get all new equipment, and I gotta do this and that, and it seems like there's a lot more on your plate, right?
Yes.
So what are some of the things that like keeps you organized?
So you got to get everything out of your head. You have to. I would say it's a whiteboard, but it's a wall in my apartment. You know what I'm saying? I'm very big into the interior design, but you know what? Like, I just had so much in my head and so many notebooks and everything like that. You got to get it out of your head. And I'm saying like, if you think something, I'm a creative person. I'm an imaginative person. So I don't really do a whole lot of like shunning myself. If I get an idea, say, oh, that's stupid, that's done. No, zero. I put it all on the wall. I put it all out of my head. I gotta get it somewhere, because it adds up.
Wow.
It adds up. I'm a firm believer that we don't make our dreams. I didn't say this is what I wanted to do. These are things that were given to me. It's not about me. It's much bigger than us. So you have to get it out of your head. You got to get it onto the board. That's how I organize. And then once I see it, I can map it out. I can, prioritize it, put it there, put it to the side, maybe even throw it in the trash. But
Yeah.
But
But
it's
at the
not-
end of the day,
it's not lost.
it's out there.
It's not
Yeah,
lost,
I mean, I'm a believer in that, because even me, I walk around with like a little notepad in my pocket and I
Same.
write everything down.
Same.
Just because it's like when it's in your head, it gets kind of like, that's when you
Yeah.
kind of start feeling a little stressed out, or like you remember you forgot something. You're like, oh my God, what else did I forget? You
Yeah.
know? So yeah, I'm a
You
believer
gotta,
in that, man. That's
we,
real.
You gotta. People gotta learn how to have patience with themselves too. You know, like you might have an idea and you just start rushing to, oh, how am I gonna make it happen? Oh, what do I need? Like, chill. Put it on the board.
Yeah.
Let it
Yeah.
sit. Revisit it, whether it's a week or a month or even a year. Who cares? Like,
Exactly.
it's out there though, and it's waiting for you to come back and revisit it at a time that you're ready.
That's the seed, man.
That's good.
Everything
good.
grows. Everything grows. Everything literally everything takes on a life of its own.
That's good.
And so when you just get it out, when you just put it right there, sometimes you just don't need to touch it. It's a good one, you know what I'm saying? But sometimes it needs to just sit right there, let it get some air, let it, you know what I'm saying, then come back to it, or let it come back to you, and it happens. It happens. If it's meant to be, it happens. It happens. It's a beautiful thing.
Wow. Man. Nah, man, you drop some gems.
Gems, yeah.
You dropping some jewelry around here, man. Hopefully the people are picking this up.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I want to kind of get a better idea of the Happy Foods.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you
I brought some actually.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Oh.
Oh yes.
Hey, take notes for anybody watching, man. It's the first guest to bring a gift. Thank you, man.
Yeah, take notes. You know what I'm saying? Be a nice guest. Bring them pineapple.
I love
This is
strawberries,
strawberry.
I'm gonna grab some
Yo.
grapes.
Grab a grape real quick. Grab one of these. Grab a kumquat. So these are all seasonal.
What is this? What is this? This is a.
Just eat it. Put it in your mouth.
It's a kumquat.
Kumquat. I go to the market every single. Help yourself, guys, or whatever. So I go to the market every single Saturday.
That's good.
And I go shopping, and I get fresh produce, and so that's what Happy Foods. It's not about what you put into your mouth. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I'm eating fruit and vegetables. No. It's an experience. Go to the market. Go to the market, talk to the grocers, go to the butcher, talk to the butcher, ask them questions. Like, quit. You're not being whack. You're not being boosy. Like, get over it. I'm telling you right now. I worked for, when I was researching for this project, I went and I took an assignment for a Safeway. And I worked with the executives, number 1 through 5. And it's like 3 number 3s, for Safeway for this region.
Yeah.
And I got to know a lot about the food industry and the grocery industry. And one thing that I learned was that people are not interacting with with the produce managers. They're not interacting. And Safeway is actually these grocery stores, Metropolitan, Whole Foods, blah, 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 blah. They're actually going out here and hiring people that are qualified for these positions. And we're just going and just kind of like looking at the stuff or putting it in our basket when these people are qualified to answer questions
I didn't
about.
even know that.
Yes, they're qualified to answer questions about measurements, about rates, about pounds, all this stuff. Like the bakers, they have, like, some of these grocery stores have real bakers. They can do things that are, sugar-free, vegan-free, such and such and such. You don't have to always go to the rack. Shout out to the corner produce at the Pike Place Market. My guy Stuart runs that place. Always have deals too. First,
Shout out to Stuart.
yeah, shout out to Stuart.
Pull
Man.
up. I'm gonna tell him I know Vince.
This Anjou pear cuts like butter. Like when it's right, when it's ready to go right now. It's very sweet. You just cut it, put it in your mouth. It, like the fruit juice is just literally explodes in your mouth.
Wow.
And they'll tell you that. They'll give you samples. Go get samples. Ask questions. And that's what Happy Foods is. Happy Foods is an experience. It's the experience. It's not just, food on the plate. It's actually going, learning. It's actually learning these recipes. It's actually cooking.
Yeah.
Date night. Like, for real. Cook. Cook.
Yeah.
Cook.
Yeah.
Like, cook, man.
Yeah.
Cook for your people. Cook
Yeah.
for your people. It's whack to go to dinner twice, to go to dinner like every single time you go on a date, you're going to buy food. Nobody got money. That's stupid. Nobody, like, they don't even care about you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's only a certain
fellas, if you're watching.
it's only a certain like level of recipe or restaurants that actually
need
care
this app.
about their
Yeah, no, I feel you.
they don't.
I feel you.
but
They're
know
probably
what I'm
just
saying.
making a lot of food, so
Yeah.
they're just trying to get it out there.
It's food
It's
service.
about clockwork. It's not
But-
even about like.
But if you feel a certain kind of way for somebody, right? And from the heart, the mouth speaks. From the heart, we act. From the heart, we move. You know what I'm saying? And so what happens is, if you feel a certain kind of way about somebody, your friends, your family, your loved ones, a date, you know what I'm saying? Yo, put some recipes together. Put some
respect on the
Put
meals.
some respect on that meal. And I promise, when you cook, like when they take it, when they eat it, they'll feel you. They will feel you. They will feel you.
Yo, this is
You'll be
game right here,
vibing on a
man.
whole nother
Yo,
level.
fellas, if
I'm
you
telling
listening,
you.
man.
And not only that, but let's say if you blow it, right? Let's say if you make a terrible meal, they'll be like, you know what? This man, he needs a woman.
So it's a win-win.
You can't lose.
It's a win-win. You can't
He
lose.
needs a woman's touch.
Yo, wow. Yo, there's some gems being dropped right now. You get your notepad out, Irv. Write that
But
down.
that's,
Write that
that's
I
the
got it all
experience of happy food. So I'm telling you, go look right now on your app, on your iPads or whatever, and tell me what app it has that. You know what I'm saying? It has that selling
Nope,
point right
and
there.
nothing, nobody got it.
Zero,
Nope.
which is exactly why I'm here. You understand?
I appreciate that, man. Wow.
Damn, that's real, man.
That's real.
Yes. These grapes are perfect. Get one of these. I don't really even know the name of all this stuff, but
Yeah.
you have like these. The grapes are ready to go. Save some for the fellas.
Oh, yeah, I will.
Nah, for sure.
Yeah.
We're gonna
Grapes
tap
slap.
in. We're gonna tap in. So, all right. So, this is like my last question for you, because I know you're probably pressed for time or whatever. But, what's one word that you can describe that keeps you on the up and up?
What's one word that keeps me on the up and up is proud. Proud, and it's not. It's a word that I use because, man, you know what I'm saying. Like, this is a big one. It runs deep for me, man, because of my upbringing. My mother, she worked so hard. My sisters worked so hard. My aunties worked so hard. My pastor, my mentors, and not only that, but the ones that our ancestors, the one that came before us, I want to make them proud. And when I say proud, I want to be, I literally work and I move to be that positive force that my pastor can say, I'm proud of you. My mother can say, that's my boy. My sisters can, where nothing that they said, nothing that they've done on my behalf is in vain.
That's beautiful, man. That's real.
For real.
It's not about me.
It's real.
It's literally to continue. It's literally to continue on the legacy, and make not only them proud, but
Those to come
anybody
after.
that comes behind me.
Definitely.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
That's what's up, man.
Definitely,
That's
man.
what's
Yeah, man, and you know, again, we want to thank you for coming through, being a guest on our show,
Thank you.
sharing your story, but more importantly, opening doors for others who probably listening and watching that can create their own stories, right?
Absolutely.
And you know, for Happy Foods, where can people find it, or when can they expect to find it, or what's that looking like?
I am gearing up for a beta release.
Okay.
Midsummer. So probably June, July, it'll be a beta released, and I'm looking for a group of people to test it out on, and it'll definitely start here in Seattle, and then we'll probably open it up to a few markets before it goes nationwide, and then before it goes global, because it's a project and it's a product that's really close to my heart, and I really want to make sure that it's right. So we are looking to launch. I got a good team working with me. Good team, and so we're working to launch midsummer.
Okay.
And keep up with me from my Instagram page at Vance Leroy at Instagram / Vance Leroy.
Yeah.
Facebook Vance Ashworth, and and then we'll move from there. And you'll get all your updates and everything from there.
For sure. Yeah, we'll make sure everybody's tapped in with how they can connect with you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Through all your handles and stuff.
We'll
But yeah,
100%.
man, definitely, man, we appreciate you for coming, man.
Oh, yes.
And, you know, much success to you moving
Thank
forward
you.
with everything you got going, not just Happy Foods, but everything else you got going. And, yeah, man, you are officially a member of the UpNUp, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, man, we appreciate it, man. We appreciate
This
it.
was a awesome experience. Thank you guys
Yes.
so much again
Yes,
for
sir.
having me, man.
No problem,
I'm
man.
blessed to be in the house
Yes,
tonight.
sir. Yes, sir.
I did want to shout out my good friend Chris Brown, who's got a book coming out.
Okay.
Yes, Black Lives Matter. Another good friend of mine, Jasmine Rache, has a good blog that's just taken off so fast.
Okay.
And
And what's the name of her blog?
It is Your Story, Our Story, Own Your Story.
Okay.
Something like that.
Okay.
She's a good girl.
Okay.
We'll get it together. Find her.
She's doing good work.
We'll link
She's
it
doing
up.
good
She's
work.
dope, though. Trust me.
Yes, sir.
Definitely.
Yes,
And
sir.
we all work together. We all make sure that we network. We all make sure that we can have someone or something to piggyback off of, and we can impact not only each other but this community.
Yes.
In a positive way. So
Yes, sir.
Definitely.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it, my brother.
man.
thank you.
Yes, sir.